Panera now delivers, so you can order good, clean food right to your office, or door, or porch, or backyard, or front yard, or apartment, or dorm, or castle, or shop, or worksite, or wherever Panera delivers. For lunch, dinner, and everywhere in between. Click the banner to order or visit PaneraBread.com. Participating locations only. Panera. Food as it should be.
Hello everyone, welcome to today's show. My name is Spencer Walsh. On today's show, Trump repaid Michael Cohen for the Stormy Daniels hush money. Rudy Giuliani says, we need some new blood for the House Democrats. Many Democrats are calling for the next generation of House leaders, and I would probably be joining them in that assertion. So we'll see what they have in mind. It should be very interesting. Also, EPA advisor Albert Kelly resigned amid ethics inquiries at the EPA. Is Scott Pruitt next? We will investigate that as well. All right, so yeah. But first today, we start with a big admission by Mr. Rudy Giuliani. So he will be. We're gonna try and play this for you in a second. So, President Trump reimbursed Michael D. Cohen, his longtime personal lawyer, for a $130,000 payment that Cohen had said he made to a pornographic film actress before going public before the 2016 election. With their story about an affair with Mr. Trump, according to Rudolph W. Giuliani, who's one of the president's lawyers, the New York Times reports. The statement, which was made by Giuliani on Wednesday night to Fox News, contradicted the president, who had said he had no knowledge of any payment to the actress, Stephanie Clifford, to keep quiet about the election. So here is what he said. The hypocrisy part is pretty big, but the main part about this, the whole situation, is that he actually went out and admitted it. So we're going to look into this. We will be looking into this at the moment. So so he was on with Sean Hannity. We're going to try to play with you the interview here in a second, but it'll be we just got to find it. So that's the main deal. Here.
Stormy Daniels woman, $130,000. I mean, which is going to turn out to be perfectly legal. That money was not campaign money. Sorry, I'm giving you a fact now that you don't know. It's not campaign money. No campaign finance violation. So
they funneled it through the law firm.
Funneled through a law firm, and the president repaid it.
I believe without a shadow of a doubt in my heart, and some people argue that I don't have one of those, but whatever, that I was doing the right thing.
Did you know about the $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels?
No.
Then why did Michael Cohen make this if there was no truth or allegation?
Well, you have to ask Michael Cohen. Michael's my attorney, and you'll have
He's
to
saying here he does not know about the
There may be an
payment.
explanation for this, and I think we'll probably hear one, but the left is going to seize on that. It's all about credibility and impeaching someone's credibility throughout the process.
It's Laura Ingraham directly after.
If you're not being truthful about this, then are you being truthful about the Russians? I mean, you can just see where this is going to go.
He has never thought that the little man, or especially women, and even more women like me, mattered. That ends now. My attorney and I are committed to making sure that everyone finds out the truth and the facts of what happened, and I give my word that we will not rest until that happens.
Yeah, so it's a mashup of sound there from the Stormy Daniels investigation and everything that's going on with that. So, yeah, the statement that Giuliani made Wednesday night on Fox News contradicted the president, and it was a pretty big deal. So, asked specifically last month by reporters aboard Air Force One whether he knew about the payment, Trump said no and referred to questions to Mr. Cohen. He was then asked, do you know where he got the money to make the payment? No, Trump responded, I don't know. He got it, apparently, as we now know, from Donald Trump because he was reimbursed. So there is that. So, in an interview with the New York Times shortly after his Fox News appearance, Giuliani, the former New York mayor and longtime Trump confidant who had recently joined the president's legal team, said that he had documentation showing that Trump had personally made the payment. Giuliani indicated that his goal was to conclusively demonstrate there was no campaign finance violation involved. That removes the campaign finance violation, and we have all had documentary proof for it. Giuliani added that when the initial payment was made, Cohen did it on his own authority. He did it pretty much independently, is what he's trying to say. So, yeah, pretty much the main reason why he wanted to do it was just pretty much prove to the president that there was no, and prove to the world that there was no violation of any campaign finance laws going on here. And that was the big situation. That was a big deal that we were living with this. So, that is the real situation. And pretty much what they wanted to prove, there was no campaign finance violations going on here with the Stormy Daniels crap. So, anyway, Giuliani has said that he has spoken with the president before and after his interview on Fox News, and that Trump and other lawyers on the team were aware of what he would say. The president repeatedly denied that he had an affair with Clifford, who has described as having intimate contact with Trump before he became president. So Giuliani's comments are also in direct contrast to what Cohen has been saying for months, that he used his own money to pay Clifford, whose name is Stormy Daniels, professionally, let's just say. Cohen is under investigation by the FBI, who raided his home and office last month and seized documents that included information about the payment to Stephanie Clifford. So, they funneled it through a law firm and then repaid it. Giuliani told Hannity and the president repaid it. Giuliani told Hannity, the Fox News host, after Hannity asked for his clarification, Giuliani said that was money that was paid by his lawyer. The president reimbursed that over a period of several months. So, the source of the $130,000 payment is the center of legal disputes involving Mr. Trump, Cohen, and Clifford. That includes whether the payment to Clifford was an effective contribution to Trump's campaign aimed at preventing a negative article from surfacing just before Election Day. Now, they cannot make that case very effectively at all because Trump reimbursed it. So, Giuliani said that he was not made clear that Trump was aware of this payment to Clifford at the time it was made, and he was and said that his understanding was that the president did not learn about the payment to her until recently. We'll continue this story in just 4 minutes. We're gonna have to take a quick break. Back in a second. And of course, always, you do have to bear with me. We are doing today's show live, of course, so the allergies are always a struggle. There's always something we got to deal with here. Now, as we get back to the story, it looks like Rudy Giuliani on this whole thing with Stormy Daniels said that she was not clear that Trump was made aware of the payment to Clifford at the time it was made, and he said that his understanding was that the president did not learn about the payment until recently. I did not think he did know until now. The comment said on Fox sent a jolt through Washington, with including legal teams working on behalf of the president, as well as New York, that kind of flipped things out. Cohen and Clifford, who had sued Cohen in an attempt to be released from the non-disclosure agreement that accompanies her $130,000 payment in October 2016. So, Avenatti, if he wasn't taking time on MSNBC, he actually had the time to tweet out, which is pretty shocking because everything he does these days is be on MSNBC, be on MSNBC, and be on CNN occasionally. Occasionally gives him time to CNN. So Michael Avenatti said on Wednesday night on Twitter that Giuliani's comments amounted to an admission that the president had lied to the American people, and whether he was aware of the hush money. Trump stood on Air Force One and blatantly lied. Avenatti said, well, Trump lying is not really anything new, so there is that. It's really quite sad that we've just been beaten down and downtrodden the fact that, the president lies, not much new. But it is the truth, ironically enough. So, This followed the lies told by others close to him, including Cohen. This should never be acceptable in our America. We will not rest until justice is served. In an interview, Avenatti said a key issue going forward would be how Trump accounted for any such payment and whether it was hidden in a way that could violate the anti-money laundering statutes. So, so how he accounted for the payment, how he paid the payment back to Cohen. Was that a completely ethical way? So it apparently it was funneled through a law firm. It sounds like. Is that an ethical thing to do? They will be, according to Avenatti, they will be questioning that and looking into that further. So there is that that benefit. Cohen had previously provided a detailed account of how he paid Clifford the $130,000 loan out of his own pocket, drawing on a home loan to do so. That opened Cohen and the Trump campaign to charge that he violated a law exceeding the amount that an individual can donate to a presidential campaign. But that those charges are pretty much null and void now that Trump has paid that donation back. So if Trump reimbursed Cohen for the payment, that could help Cohen and the campaign avoid prosecution for violating contribution limits, because a candidate is allowed to contribute an unlimited amount to his own campaign. According to a person close to the president, Trump reimbursed Cohen for the payment, a determination made in the recent weeks by the president's lawyers after examining bank records. The lawyers determined the campaign funds had not been used for payment, the person said, and the lawyers who concluded the funds did not come from a third party or the Trump organization. The person said, so while the disclosure may be embarrassing to the president, his lawyers believe the payment did not violate campaign finance laws, so that is good for him. All right, now we get to the stuff that actually matters here. So I've been having a quick sip of water there. Do apologize. The Democrats in the House, they're calling for some new blood, a new generation of leaders here. Democrats see a growing sense of opportunity to unseat the Republicans as part of a national wave that could hand the Speaker's gavel back in their party hands. There's just one catch. Many Democratic contenders aren't willing to support the returning their party's current leader to powers. So I've said since day one that I would not vote for Nancy Pelosi as Speaker. Dan McCready, 34, who is running as in a North Carolina district that stretches from Charlotte's suburbs into the more rural counties. I think we need a whole new generation of people in D.C. That's why I'm running. We need some new blood. Well, I could agree with that more, but what's your problem? Here's the problem I always ask. Here's the thing I always ask. What is your problem with Nancy Pelosi? Is it because, she's too far to the left? Then get out of here. Like, you're kidding me. Democrats across the country are locked in an awkward dance in which candidates sensing a chance to win the GOP-held seats are increasingly distancing themselves from the party's longtime liberal leader in San Francisco, a 78-year-old congressman that is boldly holding on to power. Pelosi does not want to go anywhere, and she's showing it. So there is that little dilemma. So far, 10 Democrats who have said they would oppose Pelosi's turn to speakership, while another 10 have conspicuously denied to express any support for her, according to interviews with several candidates and Washington Post review of statements collected by Republicans. They are following in the footsteps of a newly elected Democratic Representative Conor Lamb, who scored a stunning upset in March in the Republican Pennsylvania district after saying he would oppose Pelosi. So there is that whole situation. So, and personally, I think the reason why they're doing this is slimy. The reason why they're doing this is wrong. The reason why they're doing this is unethical. But they have come to the right conclusion. So the dilemma for progressives is, will they support it? But it depends. It depends on who they decide to. It depends on who they decide to put in their place. Obviously, who are they going to put in Pelosi with? Are they going to put in Pelosi with some kind of like? Are you going to put in Pelosi with like Joe Manchin or another Joe Manchin type character, who would be the strong Democratic leader they need to reach across the aisle? No, then I will literally have a heart attack right here live on air. Like, I'm not going to support that in any way, shape, or form. But I mean, if they get in like Bernie Sanders and put him in charge of the House, I think that would be a great idea. For example, so they are following in the footsteps of a newly elected Democratic Representative Conor Lamb,